What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be doing a stretched out mid-skin fade. So for our first step to start out this fade, just like how we do every one of our mid-skin fades, start at the middle of that C cup with the clipper all the way closed, bring it all the way back around the ear, drop it a little bit in the back. Here I dropped it a little too much, but once I do the back part, I do pull that up a little bit. Once the zero is done on the clipper, we're going to bring out the trimmer, and we're bringing that following that same line that we put in with the clipper. Just make sure not to go right up to that line. Just like I always say, we want to make sure we can blend this in and not push anything any further up than we need to. Here we're just going to use the foil shaver. Just make sure not to bring it up too high. Keep it underneath that trimmer line that we used just before. We don't want to create any lines and push anything up. So now it is time for the first guide of this fade, and we're going to start with the open blade and follow that same initial guideline that we put in with the zero, the closed clipper right in the beginning. And then after you put this guideline in at about a finger width in size, we're going to start blending it. So I always blend from closed to open. If you prefer to blend from open to close and you're worried about pushing something up, do whatever you prefer and whatever is most comfortable to yourself. Real quick, if you do find this video helpful in any way or find any value in this video, I'd really appreciate it if you left a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and just let me know in the comments any suggestions you have for future videos. I really do appreciate it. But let's get back to the rest of this video. So once that zero has been blended all the way up to an open blade half, our next guide is going to be the 1.5 guard closed. This is a pretty big section because this is pretty much the top of our fade. This is as high as we're going to go with the clipper. So you want to make sure it's about 2 fingers or so in size, at least double the initial guide that you put in before. So our next step is the half guard. Now that we have that top guide set with the 1.5, we're going to start closed with the half guard and push our way up, just like how we blended from that zero into the open blade. And if there is a little bit of a line between that open blade and this half guard, you can take off the half guard and just open your blade up and tap at that line, flick at it, it will come out. These two seamlessly blend into each other. If you did properly set that open half, then you shouldn't have this issue. But as you can see right here, I did have that issue. It happens to everybody, and you just have to blend out that little bit of a line that you see. And then once you put that half guard back on, you can go back to fading and everything will be just fine. So with that half guard, I had pushed it up a little bit higher than where we were with our 1.5 guard. And because of that, we do need to take the 1 guard, just open it up a little bit, stretch this and blend this out just a little bit more. We don't have to worry about pushing things up because it is a stretched fade. His hair is very, very thick, so it gets very dark once it gets to about that 1.5 length. So it really isn't too much of a worry. Just want to make sure everything's nicely blended. And once we're good with that, then we can move on to thinning shears. And the thinning shears are going to be our last step on this fade. We didn't cut anything off the top here, so just have to blend it in. And using thinning shears is just the easiest way to do it. It also helps bring the whole blend all together. You do have to be careful when you're using thinning shears. Different hair textures react differently when they're cut by a thinning shear. Sometimes curly hair will frizz, and you have to be careful and keep in mind that you don't want to use them too much, but they are there and they are an important tool, so I do still recommend you use them on every single cut. And with that being said, if you did enjoy this video, really appreciate it if you left a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.